One matter that followed the Ebola virus outbreak was the question of how it will affect the resumption of schools from the long vacation. Now, on the first day of the week, the House Committee on Education met with the Minister of Education on the matter.
Should secondary and primary schools in the country resume despite fears generated by the Ebola virus disease? This question has been a source of concern for some parents and groups. They have questioned the decision of the federal government to have schools resume on the 22nd of September, a concern that has reached the House of Representatives Committee on Education.
There are concerns, to Your Excellency, that in Rivers, for instance, the official figure, as we have read in the press, is that there are still about 300 with secondary, not primary, with secondary contact. Is that not enough for concern? Even Lagos still have about 150 that have secondary contact. We have also read from some of your engagement with the state commissioners, particularly as it relates to your directives, specific directives given to the ministries of education to put in place sufficient gadget that will ensure the protection of our children. We wanted to know whether that directives have been complied with. Again, survey indicated, sir, that close to 50% of our public schools, even in some of the private schools, operate without even water, and that is the truth. So how are we going to cope with the issue of insisting that okay, children have to engage in washing and other sanitary activities without a public water running in some of these institutions?
The Minister of Education was on hand to address this concern, and he explained how and why that date was selected.
The opening date we are talking about now is the beginning of a new academic year. It's a new session. It's not between the years. So it gives us better leverage to play around. Now you are opening, whether on 22nd, whether on 30th, whether on 13th. Any day we agree now, the challenge is to the state governments, State Minister of Education, to now see when do they close for the first term. How many weeks will they allow for first term? How many weeks will they have for second term? How many will they have in third term to make sure they have the minimum requirement? The number of weeks differ from state to state, but the important thing is by the end of the year, if you add up the weeks, it will still be the same. Some may go for 13 this term, some may go for 15 this term, some may go for 12 this term. So it can vary. So the date we even gave, there isn't anything like it is mandatory. If a state, for example, due to some peculiarities in their state, they decide not to open until a week or two later, not necessarily associated with the Ebola thing, they are still free.
He also wondered why some associations such as the Nigerian Medical Association and the Nigerian Union of Teachers disagree with the dates selected.
I would appeal to bodies like the Medical Association. They have state branches. I expect them to link up with their state ministries of education and Ministry of Health and see what help can they offer to meet up with the preventive measures.
The president of the Nigerian Medical Association, however, spoke for the doctors.
Of this issue of school resumption, for the first time of 2014-2015 academic year, from this September, it is important that in order not to feed into the unhealthy fear monster in the country, schools should resume, but efforts should be geared towards putting following provisions in place. A, the international port health services of the country should be put on high level of vigilance and preparedness to screen all entrants into the country for fever as well as for countries of entry or recent travels before coming to Nigeria.
The minister assured the gathering that the federal government will continue to monitor the situation closely and will not hesitate to take every necessary step to protect the Nigerian child.
The House of Representatives resumed from their recess and highlighted some changes to their standing orders. One of the changes touched on the timing of their plenary sessions, but also gave the impression that plenary will now commence on Mondays. I spoke to the chairman of the House Committee on Rules and Business on this matter.
Principally, with regards to sitting days and sitting time, the amendment actually is in respect of changing the sitting time from 11 a.m. to 10 a.m. As for sittings on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there is no change in it. We have 5 legislative days. Out of the 5 legislative days, we have 3 plenary days. Mondays are for other legislative activities, including oversight, committee work, and others. And so also Friday, while Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are for plenaries.
So it's not like the House will now start sitting on Monday?
No. It's not that there will be plenary on Monday and Friday, but it is open in the event of any emergency, there will plenary. But Mondays and Tuesdays and Fridays are devoted and set aside for other legislative activities outside plenary.
I'm sure you can tell it was a very busy week. But what do you make of the decisions reached by the lawmakers? I'd like to hear from you. You can use any of the addresses on the screen or send me a tweet. Well, that's all on the Gavel this week. Till next week, I'm Lanre Lasese. Take care.